Hey everybody, welcome to our Hathor activation meditation for what is this, September? We've been doing this on a monthly basis for a couple of months now, and I know that there's going to be at least a few people that have not been on this before and will be listening to the recording before. So just a brief explanation of what we're doing and why we're doing and how we're doing, but I will be sending you links to all the past activation meditations so you have a better understanding of the history of this, and you can get caught up with your activations and not miss out on anything. So that will be coming in your email tomorrow when I send you the link for today. So I'm Phoenix Rising Star, in case you didn't know me, and thank you so much for being here. This is really an exciting night because this is where we get to show up and make a difference in the world, or at least create the process to be able to do that more easily and better and deeper and faster and all those good things. One of the things that the Hathors suggested, because you have to understand, these are fifth through 12th dimensional beings, right? They don't need a body, but they do have a form, and some people can see the form, and others will just sense or know in some way that they're there. You might feel it, you might hear them. There's a whole lot of different ways in which you can experience the Hathors. But their intention is to help all of us to reach our highest destiny. This is what they do for their own children, and this is what they've offered to do for us. It originally started because they have a vested interest in the new earth that is created and is waiting for souls to cross over there. And they believe that many of the people that are attracted to these activation meditations probably have a vested interest in the new earth as well, whether or not you're aware of that. You may be one of the souls helping people to cross over there, or you may be a way shower that crosses over quickly and helps everybody else to get comfortable, or there can be a whole lot of ways in which you could just show up and make a difference over there. Now, it doesn't matter if you're consciously aware of that or not. It's just one of the things that the Hathors are known for. And so tonight's topic about showing up and making a difference in the world is connected to the new earth, but it's also really connected to whatever your gifts are, no matter what those gifts are, and no matter what kind of difference you are here to make in the world. They were the ones that suggested that we have a contest to share this with as many people as possible, because they're wanting to impact as many people as possible. That's in total alignment with their heart and their soul and their soul's mission. And they also recognize that it's in alignment with ours. So one of the ways to show up and make a difference is through community. And so I sent out an email that it was inviting people to just find creative ways in which you could, share with your community about this activation meditation. Some of you have been sharing vigorously on social media and tagging me so that I'm aware of it, and I'm so grateful for that. Others of you have been talking about having Hathor parties, whether they're live or recorded. And so you really have until September 23rd to get a group together. Send me a picture of your group with a time, date stamp on it so I know when you're meeting, and listening to the recording, if not this live activation tonight. So the contest won't be done until the 23rd. On the 24th, I'll be announcing who the winner is, and the winner gets a private meditation activation with the Hathors for either themselves, if they're just an individual, or for their group. So it will be really exciting to see who wins that. It will probably be over Zoom, unless there is a way that we could get together, but don't count on it. I mean, it might happen, but probably it will happen on Zoom, and that would be a lot easier for either you and a group or us to get together. I'm so excited about this. It's fun, and this is what it's all about. It's just to be playful with how we are sharing our gifts with the world. Okay, so I'm just looking at my notes here because they usually give me kind of an outline before we start, but then they just let me ramble on. So I've put a link in the chat. If you can't see the chat, click on Manage Participants, it's at the bottom, and then click on Chat, which is also at the bottom. And the link is for our website. Well, it's, I don't know if it's really a website, but it's a free offering. It's free. And Joy to Our World, that space will take you to my Kajabi course site where you can put in your email and make up a password, and you can experience all of our self expressions from, I think it was from January, actually, when we first started. The Hathors had come to me in December and asked that I would get together a group of 12 people who would be willing to express themselves around different topics monthly. And so, for instance, September's topic is wisdom. So they're high consciousness topics. Next month is reverence for all life. And all of these topics are really representative of the Hathors. And so, as we are continuing, as many of the 12 as possible have been sharing different pictures or videos or meditations or poetry or prose or whatever it is, just sharing different thoughts and expressions on those topics, just helping to raise the vibration of the planet in the way that we can. And there's 12 of us that have been doing that actively. So I invite you to take a look at that. The link should be right up there above where Mega's put everyone to everyone, and she put link, but you should be able to see Joy to Our World, that space. I'll type it in again because sometimes it doesn't show up when people are first getting on. Nope, nothing there. Okay, well, so there you go. Now it should be there now. Okay. All right, Joy to Our World space. So I hope if you haven't already joined us that you do, and just check out all the offerings, and feel free to make comments and share with people what you're feeling from what they have so generously donated in terms of their time. Okay, so as I had mentioned, you're going to be getting all the links from the previous meditations that have been opened up recently to people, to as many people as we can. And there's kind of a progression of sorts. So you may want to listen to the very first one to get the background, and then continue listening, because each topic, each time we do this activation meditation, it's all about, who we are, why we're here, and honoring that and being able to share that with the world. So tonight is showing up and making a difference in the world. I usually give a little bit of background first, and then we'll go into the meditation, where it's a guided meditation. I get you to a certain place, I open it up for you to have a rich experience, and then we'll keep on going until we're complete with the meditation for tonight. All right, so tonight on our process of showing up and making a difference in the world, the Hathors wanted you to understand it's really like a three-step process. And this is true for everybody, no matter when you have recognized your gifts or if you have recognized your gifts. It's kind of an ongoing situation. Sometimes people are lucky enough to know right away what some of their gifts are. Like when I was 5 years old, I announced to my mom I was going to be a teacher. And she was very progressive at the time, because at that time that was pretty much like what women could do, be a secretary or a teacher or a nurse. But she said, honey, you could do anything you want. You don't have to be a teacher. And I said, well, I know that, but I want to be a teacher. I just knew in my heart that that's one of the reasons I was here. And so that led me to a progression of self-discovery, where I was teaching other people's things through the public schools, and then quitting that and knowing that my passion was really to work with adults to help them discover their passions, and to work with otherworldly beings like angels, archangels, ascended masters. I wasn't working with the Hathors at that time, but high consciousness beings. And that has continued to be a passion of mine, and also to offer healing in ways that are different, unique, and non-medical. That's become more of a recent passion. But, I haven't that was like a 20, 25 year journey, for heaven's sakes. And for some of you, you may not even feel like you're at that place where you even know what your gifts are. So that's like the first hurdle, if you will, or the first opportunity that the Hathors want us to really understand that all of us have our unique gifts. All of us do this in whatever it is in different ways, and we're all here to make a difference in the world, even if the world is merely one person, or maybe it's a lot more than one person. So, the first thing is to honor what our gifts are, to figure out what they are and who are we impacting and how are we helping them. That's a big, big task right there. The second thing that they want to help us with is understanding that as soon as we recognize that we have gifts and we have things to share with the world and we can make a difference, is that there's probably going to be some blocks that are keeping us from doing that. So recognizing what these blocks are can be extremely important. Sometimes our blocks are within ourselves, like there are things that maybe we brought in from a past life, or maybe we did something similar and we were put to death for it, and we remember that in ourselves. So we're not about to repeat that experience, and we keep telling ourselves that I'm not going to do that again. I didn't like how it landed the last time, and I'm not going to do that. But sometimes our blocks come from what other people have said to us, either growing up or while we were having formative years. And those things that they said to us, either we thought that they were accurate, or we were afraid that they were accurate, or we formed beliefs around ourselves with them. So, for instance, it could be things like, well, you're not good enough to do that. I think we've all been told that at one time or another. Or another good one, especially if you're an entrepreneur, is you can't make any money doing that. You got to go do something more standardized. Ugh. So you can see where we develop a lot of things that can get in our way and can put the brakes on when it comes to sharing our gifts with the world. It's not enough to just recognize what those blocks are, because you probably are very aware of those. The third thing is to really allow yourself to heal those blocks so that you can make a bigger difference in the world and make a bigger impact for as many people as possible. And that's the third thing that the Hathors are bringing to us tonight, is that healing. Healing happens in a lot of different ways. We ask for the highest good and highest healing. We don't always know what that is until it happens. We might think we know, but then when something else comes around and you go, oh my goodness, that is so much better for me, then you know that the highest good and healing has happened for you. When we're working with the Hathors, they can be rather intense. So, we'll be talking about that in a few minutes, about how do you recognize healing and know that it's temporary. Not that the effects are temporary, it's just that the intensity is temporary, and what you can do about that. Okay, so okay, let me just continue on here. In just a few moments, we'll begin our activation meditation. And when we do this, I always turn off my video because I tend to talk a lot with my hands, but my eyes might be closed and it can be very disconcerting. I also would recommend that you turn off your video so that nobody is distracted by looking at anybody during a meditation, when it's a lot easier to just have your eyes closed. Or if you have a mindfold mask or a blindfold or something like that, you could use that as well. So, from that, the very first thing I'm going to be doing is getting you into a really deep state of unconditional love. This is how I begin all of my meditations, all of my work with angels, archangels, ascended masters, otherworldly beings such as the Hathors, and high consciousness beings who are here for our highest good and healing. Those are the only ones I want to work with. I don't have time to work with everybody else. But when we begin from a state of unconditional love, first of all, we're opening up our heart to give and receive more love. And then we are meeting our helpers from that state of love, in which we can then feel their love for us. It's like a wave that goes back and forth between us. And it's that wave that creates that feeling of certainty and surety and belief and trust and safety and all of those things that just help you to know that this is okay and this is right for you. If at any time during the meditation you don't feel like it's right, or you feel fearful or worried or concerned, just stop what you're doing. You're in total control of yourself at all times. So you have that right to stop if you choose. But when we begin with love, it creates such a safety valve and a safety net. I don't think you'll feel that way. The next thing we'll be doing then is the Hathors, you'll be greeting the Hathors in whatever way your senses are open. So, what I mean by that is some people are very visual and they'll actually see their forms. I'm very auditory, so I have wonderful conversations with them. Other people are very sensory in terms of goosebumps or feelings or tinglings or warmth or whatever. And still others might just know how you know without knowing how you know that you're working with the Hathors. There's so many other ways that you could have a rich experience with them, but just open up all of your senses to be aware of how they are choosing to work with you, because they will choose your strongest sense. When that happens, the first thing that is going to be going on is a recognition of your gifts that you have to share with the world, and who is benefiting from them and how they benefit from them, which will give you more ideas of how you can show up and make a difference in the world. Some of it may not be new to you. Some of it may be totally new to you. Some of it may be dredging up some deep seated desires of gifts that you wished you had and you didn't know you had. And there can be a million other things that could be going on during this time. So just be open with all of your senses and receive this information in the best way for you possible. The next thing that will happen very quickly is a recognition of what has been in your way of helping to share these gifts with the world and making a difference in the world. And again, it could be from a past life, it could be from this lifetime, it could be mental belief systems, it could be fears, it could be lack and limitation that somehow just kind of creeped in and you didn't even know you had it. It could be a lack of self-esteem. It could be so many things, because we believe that these things have power over us, right? In some way, shape, or form. So this recognition is just a very short part, because quickly the healing comes in then. And when the healing comes in, it can come in a way that you recognize, and it also could come in a way that you don't recognize. Like you may be kind of surprised by the intensity of it. The intensity may happen right away. It may happen immediately after the meditation. It may happen within the next 24, 48 hours. You may not have an intense experience. Everybody's different in what happens. Some people have been sharing with me after their different activation meditations and sharing with me some really deep-seated things that were happening. The intensity was short-lived, but the results were higher vibration, higher consciousness living that you recognize right away. So it's like a reset. It's like an instant reset, or maybe a very short-term reset that your body just needs to go through in order to get you to that next level. So some of you will have that kind of thing and that kind of experience, and others of you just go, wow, that was really nice. I really like that. Everybody's different in how they are reacting and what is going on for them. So again, just be open. But if you're experiencing intensity, just ask your healing angels, if you work with healing angels or helpful spirits. Just ask the Hathors to tone it down a bit, whatever you need to do, to make it through that intensity. Just a perfect example of that, and it took me by total surprise, because I'm the one, that it's coming through, for heaven's sakes. I'm the one talking, because they're talking through me. So I'm thinking I'm just fine. But this actually happened with two different experiences of higher consciousness beings. And immediately after leading the meditation effortlessly, and just, just everything was flowing along really well. As soon as I clicked end meeting, I went into this state where I felt like all the heat was just being sucked out of my body. And I was so cold. And I'm in the desert. It's 100 degrees here, I just felt so cold. I had to put on all these clothes and wrap myself in blankets. I was drinking hot tea. Nothing was working. My hands were shaking like crazy. I was so cold. But then the next day, I was fine. In fact, I was better than fine. I felt like I was at a higher vibration, a higher consciousness level. It was like I could see things much more clearly than ever before. And I knew that I had just had to go through that reset. That's all it was. It was just a temporary reset. But it sure caught me by surprise because it didn't happen until immediately when I clicked end meeting. And it's happened twice now, which is very interesting to me. You may not have that experience at all. Some people, uh, some people have reported having a variety of intense experiences, whether it's leaving their job, leaving a relationship, quitting different things in their diet, starting an exercise program. I mean, there's everybody's gone through something completely different. So just be open. You will get through it if it's intense. It's not the end of the world. It's an upgrade. That's what you're receiving. So know that and don't be in fear of it if that's what happens to you. You can always ask for ease and grace too, because that's very, very helpful. In fact, we'll intend that right now, that everybody has ease and grace as we're going through this. So the healing part will probably last longer. Well, it may last as long as understanding your gifts, but the recognizing your gifts is very short, and the healing part is a lot longer. And at some point, the Hathors will say, okay, we're done here. And during that time, I'm just in silence and you're in silence, but then they tell me that they're done. And so at that point, I'll be ringing. I have a Zen bowl here that vibrates on multiple levels, and the Hathors actually were very instrumental in helping me to find this bowl. They told me I needed a bowl, and I haven't really utilized it yet in the activation meditations. But tonight they told me that when they told me they were done, I was to ring it 3 times so that you would know that we were done. And at that point, in silence, then we will just end the meeting. Now, I don't give time for processing and integrating verbally together, because sometimes you really need that time to sit in your own space and really appreciate it and take from it what you need to take from it. And then if you need to process it with me, feel free to send me an email or send me, a message. I'll put my email here so that you can get a hold of me. Because there's times that I can help you to process it even more fully, or I can help you to understand your experience better, or just whatever. So send me an email or a text message or a message on instant messenger if you need some help in processing things. But do take time to integrate it yourself and really sit with it and be with it. Maybe journal it, maybe create a picture about it, or create a poem about it, or whatever helps you to integrate it. The integration process lasts from 24 to 48 hours, sometimes as long as 72, but that's rare. So just be with it, and really know that you're getting an upgrade. That's what seems to be happening from these activation meditations. And I, for one, am so grateful to be able to be the channel for this. It's all in alignment with my soul purpose to be able to offer this. They know that, the Hathors know that. They asked me if I would be a vehicle for this, and I'm honored, deeply honored to be a part of this. And I'm deeply grateful to all of you who are listening to this live and will be listening to the recording, because you are making a difference just by showing up, just by sharing, just by being here, whether it's live or on the recording. You are making a difference in the world. And you will make more of a difference in the world after we're done tonight, because the blocks will be removed and you'll have a better sense of who you are and why you're here, no matter what that is, no matter what that means to you. And all of that makes the world a better place. So thank you so much for helping to make the world a better place. Ah, gosh. Okay. Well, I think that's everything I'm supposed to talk about. Now it's time for our meditation. So I'm going to turn off my video. I can see that many of you have already turned yours off, and I know what's happening because I can feel it as I'm talking. All of this is already happening to many of you, and that's why it's kind of like, oh, I just gotta turn the video off and just allow yourself to receive. So it's all in real time. It's all perfect. Thank you again for being here. All right. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. So, the first thing, remember, that we're going to do is just get ourselves into a state of unconditional love. And for some of you, it just may be so foreign to you, you don't even know what I mean by that. And that's okay because I think you'll have the experience of it tonight, but maybe for the first time, or maybe it's rare. And so you can welcome it again that it's happening tonight. For others of you, you've had the luxury of knowing what unconditional love is all about. And so it's not a surprise, it's not difficult, it's easy to step into. So just know that this is such a beautiful way that our soul recognizes instantly as being the natural state of our soul. And so there is a familiarity about it when you allow yourself to receive it and to be in that place. Now, for some of you, you may have had an experience with a person that you felt that unconditional love. And it may not have been the people that you grew up with. It may have been someone outside of your family, maybe a dear friend later on in life. Maybe it's a four-legged, maybe a dog, a cat, a horse, even a cow. People get very attached to cows. Cows are very loving in their energy. Some people get attached to fish and they feel that they have a really wonderful bond with fish. I have an incredible bond with sea turtles, and I just talk to them. Some people talk to dolphins, and it doesn't matter where this unconditional love comes from. Just try to put yourself in that position where you are remembering it to the best of your ability or allowing yourself to experience it tonight. There may have been times when you were in nature, someplace where it was just such a profound experience that it changed you forever. And it's that kind of feeling that I'm talking about. It may have been an experience with the divine in which your life changed in that moment, whether you call it a miracle or something else entirely different. To the best of your ability, just allow yourself to open up to that unconditional love and begin just really feeling it in your heart. Now, for some people, it can feel really warm and fuzzy, and for others, it's kind of tingly. Others won't have any feelings, they just have memories. Others won't have any memories, they just have a knowing. There's, again, so many ways in which we use our senses to really be in this place. So do whatever works for you and allow this love to begin filling your heart space. And the thing with love is there's an abundance of it. So once you invite it in, it just keeps coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in. And pretty soon your heart space is feeling really like full to overflowing. And so just let it overflow, because what's going to happen is it's going to flow all the way through your physical body. And it's like pouring a glass of water. It fills up from the bottom all the way up to the top. So from your feet all the way through your body up to the top of your head. And then more keeps coming in. So it just overflows again into your energy field, into your physical energy field, which is just outside your physical body. And then filling that up from the bottom to the top, spilling over into your emotional body. And here's the thing too about love, as it's filling up in all your spaces, it's actually creating a lot of healing. That's just what love does. And so you start to feel or sense or know that in some way, and it can feel really good. It usually feels really good. Like, wow, I want more of this. And then your mental body, and it can heal mental belief systems or things like fears, past life ones or this lifetime ones. And then that spills over into your spiritual body, which encompasses all aspects of your soul purpose and why you're here, how you can make a difference in the world. And so that love is now filling you to just overflowing. You're just completely filled. It's like being wrapped in cotton wool. It just feels so good. It just, it takes away anything that's not love and just gives you more love. So just allow yourself to be in this state. This is how I am beginning every meditation I do, because there's nothing like it. It's the most healing thing we could do. And it's the most open and receptive and safe thing that we can do. It actually has a protection. You know, love is everything. It's everything. So just sit with that for a moment, and you might have a sense. You might have a sense of the Hathors, in whatever way you see, sense, know, feel them. For me, they're really large. They may not feel so large to you. Again, you may see a form, you may have a conversation, you may have feelings, you may have sensing, knowings. But one thing you can count on is they're bringing a really big ton of love with them. And they usually come in more than one, like a group. It's a small group. So open your heart and allow yourself to feel the love that they're coming to you with. It's kind of a nonverbal way of connecting. In fact, it's called heart language, where you feel it, you know it, but it's not like there's any words for it. Words are unnecessary. Just allow yourself to feel that, to feel their love for you, to reassure you this is really okay. You really have your highest and best as their intention. Good. When you have received that love, I invite you to just give them love right back. Just send it from your heart. There's an abundance of love. You're not going to run out. It's a wonderful gift you're giving back to them, and it lets them know that you are open and receptive to connecting with them. And know that they're receiving that love and taking it in, and they're making it theirs. And then they're going to amplify that love and send it right back to you, where now it's really washing through all parts of you, almost to the point of overwhelming, but not quite. It's just incredible, incredible love that is just filling you completely. As you take that in and hide no place from that love. And then when you're ready, you can share it back with the Hathors, just with your intention, just send it right back to them. They are so happy to be in this wave of love. So happy to help you make a difference in the world. So they're expanding this love one last time, and one more time sharing it with you as it just washes through all aspects of you. And it's feeling so incredibly good. You almost don't want to do anything else. And you probably wouldn't have to, but we did come here for a reason. So just really take that in and make it yours. Good. Remembering that tonight is all about really understanding what our gifts are and honoring them. And as the Hathors begin bringing this information to you in a way that you will see, sense, feel, or know, it may not come in the linear brain language. It may come in through the heart language that has no words, that you just know without knowing how you know. Just allow them to bring to you exactly what you need to know about your gifts at this time. And I'll be really quiet. The next thing that they'll segue into, and it's very natural, is the recognition of the things that might be keeping you from sharing these gifts. So just allow that information to come through in whatever way is right for you, to receive it without judgment. It's just a journey. And we have one more step on that journey, which is to heal those blocks. So for now, just receive what you need to receive. You may feel the healing begin immediately, or again, it may come later. Healing comes in a variety of ways. Allow it to be what it is. You don't have to relive anything. You can have ease and grace.